G'day, Grievers. Welcome to Little Down Island, Tasmania, southern Tasmania, going into lockdown in 2023 minutes. And I just stopped. This car park is jumping, man. I just stopped to grab some milk because it's the only thing I don't have. And I had to stand in the queue for like 15 minutes to get my milk. So I bought some onions and tomatoes and lemons as well, and some cherry tomatoes and some lettuce. Hi, Dennis. How you doing, Groover? Oh my God, guys! If you knew the day that I am just had, um, it's been a day. I'm exhausted. I can't wait to get home and be locked down. To be honest, bring the lockdown fucking on. I'm putting on my pajamas and I'm not going anywhere. So my job, part of my job is we often sponsor conferences, and we sponsored a massive conference that happened today. So I had to get up super early and I had to go via my boss's house to pick up a table, trestle table. Just trying to get through the week, mate. Well, it's Friday here, so the week is winding down. I need to turn my Bluetooth off. Hang on. So I'm hoping you're going to get to see some batshit crazy traffic, like what traffic looks like when a place is going into lockdown, because the drive on the highway out of Hobart, it's insane. It is insane. People are panicking. Turn my Bluetooth off. Okay. Yeah, people are panicking. People are panic buying. There's queues leading into where there's supermarkets and stuff that go for like, half a kilometre. But also people are just driving like fucking COVIDiots. They're panicking. I mean, a lot of people have to pick up their kids from school. A lot of people have to get home from work. Lockdown actually kicks off at 6 p.m. So if you're finishing work at the normal time and you're driving home after 6 p.m., you're fine. You just can't stop anywhere along the way. You've got to go straight home. But they're trying to get as many people home before 6 as possible. Yeah, Hobart's just an absolute shambles right now. So I had this super early start, had to go via my boss's place to pick up a table, get in peak hour traffic, and then set up this display thing that, anyone that's been to a conference knows that there are... Oh, shit, you've got the Wu variant. Well, the reason we're in lockdown is because of a guy who came into the state with the Delta variant. I've read a bit about Wu when it was first sort of identified, but I don't know much about it, I've got to be honest. So this dude has Delta, and he went to a Woolies for over an hour and exposed hundreds of people. They haven't reported figures, but there was a lot of talk at the conference that I was at, because a lot of the people at this conference are like connected to political advisors, politicians, police, that sort of stuff. But yeah, there was certainly talk about how many people have actually tested positive. Hey, Francesca, yep, we're in lockdown from 6 p.m. I'm hoping you get to see a bit of the crazy lockdown traffic. It's like 3:40, and mind you, I didn't go live when I was in the busiest part of the traffic, but people were. The further you get out of Hobart, the more reasonable people are, but people are panicking. Like, you can tell from the way they're driving. Supermarkets are just out of control. I'm good, Anne-Marie, but we're about to experience our first lockdown. 3-day hard lockdown's been announced. So I set up this frigging conference early this morning on my own, and then did the usual, standing around being the sponsor and chatting to people about what the community legal service that I work for, what we do. And then as the day wore on, word spread that the Premier was doing a presser at 2:30 and that we were all going into lockdown at either 6 p.m. or midnight tonight. It turns out it's 6 p.m. tonight till 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. Yes, send me toilet paper. And thanks for reminding everyone to type in caps too, Francesca. I saw a person with a trolley full of toilet paper in one of the very overcrowded supermarket car parks. It's a 3-day lockdown. Now, look, based on the little unconfirmed number of positive cases that's in Tassie at the moment, it may well be more than 3 days. But you can still go out and buy groceries and stuff during lockdown. I just don't want to. I've basically grabbed enough milk for my daily cuppers. Are you saying alcohol lessens the effectiveness of the vaccine, or are you saying the Wu variant, Dennis? I'll have to read up on it. I'm going to be home. I'll have plenty of time. So then word spreads about the Premier's conference. So then my boss and I were chatting about whether or not I could work from home efficiently on my laptop. But there's things like our S Drive. Justin, hello. It's the Throckmorton family reunion. Anyway, we decided that working from my own laptop wasn't ideal, but it was doable. And then it was confirmed that it was definitely going to be a 3-day lockdown, but we still didn't know when it was going to kick off. So then Melinda's like, actually go and get your laptop. So I had to drive from this venue in an outer suburb of Hobart into the city to our office to grab my laptop. And oh my God, guys, I felt like I was driving in Grand Theft Auto, but I was the person that everyone slams into. Or Carmageddon. It was batshit. People were doing illegal U-turns. It was just chaos. It's been a long time, Groover. I've been really well. I'm heading into lockdown. Yeah, I know. Another, 2100 and something today, Francesca. And ending lockdown. How do you feel about that? You've spent all this time in lockdown and it's like, now our figures are the highest they've ever been. We're going to set you free. Okay, you're in Iowa, right. Did I ever tell you I spent nearly a month in Monticello, Iowa? Did. I didn't live there when I was actually lived in Kansas City, Missouri, but they did like a little 9-week, so it was 3 weeks, little like placements, and you went off and stayed with other families for like 3-week periods. You're frightened. I don't blame you, Francesca. I mean, I'm hoping the hard lockdown here works like it did in South Australia. If the number of cases that are actually in Tassie that were being thrown around at this conference are correct, I'm kind of glad we are going into lockdown because there's enough to really fuck this little island up. Mind you, I feel fairly safe down where I am, but yeah, they haven't talked about figures, and I don't know why this figure's been thrown around, and I don't want to repeat it because, fake news. Hey, Space Monster 61, has been a long time, Groover. Look at me, it's the middle of the afternoon in Tassie, and why is the traffic crawling? Because we're all heading home because we're going into lockdown. I thought I'd record this historical moment. Hey, Serenity B. We've got to wear masks if we go out now. I don't even know if everyone in Tassie, hopefully everyone in Tassie owns a mask now. Yeah, so lockdown kicks off at 6 p.m. Tonight, and they're saying we will It'll go through till 6 a.m. Tuesday morning. So I'll be working from home on Monday. But I haven't finished my crazy story. So my boss says, yep, go get your laptop. So I go to town and I feel like I'm the little car in Carmageddon or Grand Theft Auto that everyone slams into. People were, yeah, my arm ached too, Serenity B, but I'm still keen. Keep me posted with the Moderna. You're the first person I know to get the Mo. That's Moderna, not a moustache. So, yeah, I have to leave this venue in Outer Hobart, get into the middle of the city, and they've just, word has got out already before the presser that we're going into lockdown. And, oh, my God, the city of Hobart was just fucking insane. Then I had to go back out to the conference. And once again, I was in this crazy, this is mild traffic because it's not going very fast. The people that can accelerate right now, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. It's like watching a movie, watching this city empty, basically, of traffic. Every place you can buy anything like of a grocery nature has queues out the front. And unfortunately, all of that's back where we were. They are panicking big time, Francesca. And, a lot of them are like having to leave work. So they've got to pack up their office because they're all going to be working from home on Monday. They've got to get their kids from school. They're like, oh, fuck, I didn't get any milk, which is what I did. I was like, oh, shit, got to stop and get milk. But I just stood in a queue for 15 minutes to get a carton of milk. But because we were moving slowly, I was like, oh, maybe I will treat myself to that nice cheese. Oh, some sea salt lavash. Have a good live, Spacey. I didn't know you were doing a live, so I wouldn't have. Well, no, I was going to go live because I want to record this. This is history. This is Southern Tasmania going into lockdown as we speak. But have a good one, Spacey. I stock up big time. Well, for me, I mean, I bought enough stuff. I made some southern fried chicken last night, which was so good. I actually grabbed a cold. There wasn't a lot of lettuce left. I've got an iceberg lettuce at home, so I grabbed a Spanish onion, some cherry tomatoes, and then a bag of coleslaw mix. Because coleslaw with southern fried chicken is so good. I grabbed my milk. I grabbed some milk chocolate bullets, a couple of really nice cheeses, and a box of my favourite lavash crackers. They're these Tasmanian lavash crackers that are so good. And some ice cream, which is slowly melting, but that's all right. It'll bounce back when it gets in the freezer. But I'm getting home and being locked down at home. That's my happy place. My plan is just to get stuff so I don't have to leave the house except for my daily walk. What else did I grab? I grabbed a few things that I wouldn't normally buy. Like, when you look at I grabbed a couple of tins of coconut milk because I don't want to run out of that shit because I want to be able to make some curries. I grabbed some chopped chips, so if I decide to do some baking, I can make chopped chip cookies. I might be going live from the Shitty Kitty Kitchen a bit over the next 3 days. Well, 2 at least. So then I'm stuck in Hobart traffic after going to work to get my laptop so I can work from home on Monday. You should see how much shit's in my car. I've got all the conference shit in the back because then I had to go back to the conference and they actually interrupted the conference to put on the Premier's presser at 2:30. And then they called it and said, right, we've all got to be home before 6, so let's go. So I had to pack down this fucking massive display and do 3 trips out to the car. I'm so exhausted. My day started at 5 a.m. and I've done about 30,000 steps on my Fitbit. You had 3 hours to get ready. Yeah, see, what was it, 2:30, the press conference, and we're locked down at 6. So we got 3.5 hours. I've been rushing all day. My sister was messaging me because she wasn't sure if I was aware that the state was going into lockdown, just to give me the heads up if I needed anything. She's like, pop down to your shop. I said, I'm actually at this conference in town. And then a couple of other people were sort of messaging me, just wanting to know if we'd heard whether, because there were 2 stories flying around. One was locked down at 6, one was locked down at midnight. But it's 6 p.m. So I'm just hoping that Smokes and Guns is still open. I reckon this would be a busy day for Smokes and Guns. I don't need to buy a gun, but I would like to get a couple of packets of ciggies to tide me over. I have got rolling tobacco at home too. I might actually grab a couple of packets of, or get some filters and papers. I can't remember if I've got any or not. But yeah, this is mid-afternoon in Tassie, and it's bumper to bumper because we're all heading home for a 3-day hard lockdown. And the problem is where this guy went. He was in a supermarket for one news report says half an hour, but you know how they start putting out places that are high risk areas? It tells you sort of the time frame that you need to self-isolate. Originally, they were telling people that were in these areas just to self-isolate for 14 days. But I think the rumour that there's more cases is true because now not the whole state, but southern Tasmania is now locked down. And they wouldn't lock it down for one case. Get everything you need. I gotta laugh. There were so many people buying groceries, right? But there were more people in the bottle shop next door. They were wheeling out trolleys of alcohol. They're like, oh yeah, we better fuck buying lettuce. Hey Raven, did you see how polite the traffic was? Everyone gets over for ambulances here. I love my state for doing that. So many places don't. Check out this weather too, huh? And it's going to be like this for the next 3 days. So couldn't be more perfect for being locked down. I'll get my little yoga mat out and I'll do yoga in my living room. Sky's Inner Witch. Hi. They locked down. Yeah, true. They're up. I mean, South Australia locked it down for. I think it ended up being more than one, but initially I think it was one. But he went to a supermarket that people. He was, I don't know. He was there for half an hour and 15 minutes. There's 3 different versions, but people from all over southern Tassie would go to that supermarket. Like, it's not a really central suburb, but it's on the main arterial highway that goes up through the middle of the state. So people, when they're coming home or they're heading north, it's a really good one to stop at because it's like a mega supermarket. But see, here's the thing, Sky. Like, I don't know if it's. They don't put the figures out of how many positive results they get straight away. And Tassie, we've never gone into a lockdown before. We had the Northwest did in like April last year. Or was it? Yeah, around April. Because quite a few passengers from the Ruby Princess came back to Tassie and there was a cluster up in the Northwest. Don't forget, Groovers, to type in caps. I mean, I'll be able to read chat a little bit now because we'll be doing 40, but it's a bit hard to read chat because my phone is a long way from my blind eyes. So yeah, I'm exhausted. I mean, going to a conference is exhausting in itself. Bumping in, setting everything up. It's the trips from the car that give me the shit. So just carrying big, awkward things, like even the table, even though it's a foldable table, it's you can't just hold it by the handle and it doesn't drag along the ground. You've got to have it slightly lifted, just shit like that. But then I had to go and pack up my office, load that into my car, go back to the conference, bump out. Um, you'd rather have the rain sky. All right, I'm going to go into smokes and guns. Sunny will love it. She's going to love having me home for 3 whole days. You hate the hot weather. Move here. I mean, it's not, this is kind of, we've had really beautiful summery weather, um, but it's been like this for like the last 2 or 3 days, and it's going to be like it for a few more. It's unusual for us to have a lot of rainy days in a row, but my water tank should be filling up nicely now. So I'll be doing a lot of washing again during lockdown. Bit of Netflix. I can't wait. I'm reading a book at the moment that's fantastic. It was rumoured that it was based on my family, which is kind of weird reading a book and thinking, why do people think this was based on my family? The author said no, but then she also said God, I need to go in that car park just there. Look how many cars there are. This is ridiculous. This is not my little town normally at all. This is crazy. It's cray cray. I'll go in here and do a Yui. So yeah, Southern Tassie's going into lockdown, and I'm so tired. I can't wait to put my feet up when I get home. Because just working at a conference is so exhausting. All the trips in and out from the car, and oh my God, am I even going to be able to get out? I've never seen the traffic in this street like this ever, ever. Nobody's going to let me in. Look how many cars are trying to get out of the Woolies car park. Shite. Okay, I'm going to have to go another way and jump back round. This is cray cray. I will look at chat in a minute, guys. I'm just focusing on trying to get on the other side of the road. I couldn't. Was going to sit there with my indicator on, but I just couldn't for the amount of cars behind me. But the guy that's working at Salvo's has already got his mask on. That's another thing. Like we haven't had to wear masks, so just seeing people walking around Hobart with masks on is a really weird sight. Catherine Clapham, hello. Why did you say, oh my God, Anne Marie? What's happened? I don't think there's going to be a park out on the street either. And if I go into the car park, they probably won't let me out. I just did my good deed letting that dude go in and that one. And now I'm going to let this chick go out. Just floor it, lady. Floor it. Why did you say, oh my God, Anne-Marie, what happened? Look at this traffic. On the left, all these cars coming out from this street on the left, there's a Woolies in there. That's what's going on. These people are all getting into Woolies and grabbing shit. But I have never seen this street, even with 3 cars. Lovely to have you here, Catherine. Oh my God, was for traffic? Yeah, it's just batshit. And if I go into this car park, I'm not going to be able to get out. They will not let me out. I don't mind. Even the bus can't get out because oh, I've got plenty of toilet paper. I get who gives a crap? Toilet paper has never actually had to factor in for me. When we had to do lockdown or self isolation last year for it was nearly 3 months, but we were the first state in Australia, so it wasn't really called lockdown back then, but it was the same rules of lockdown. You can only leave home for 4 reasons. This is just, I've never seen anything like this. Come on, traffic lights up there, change. Hey, Blue, it's chaos, man. This tiny little town, which has got a population of like 5,000, admittedly, it is the sort of hub. I can't let any more of you fuckers out. I'll never get to go. Quick, mate. 1, that's it. I already let about 10 out. No more. I've done my bit. All of this to get a packet of smokes? Jesus. Have you got a shortage of food happening in the States, Janice? That's really scary. I watched an American channel, Biddy Boo's Homestead, and she predicted a shortage of food in the middle of last year, I reckon. You're in Melbourne, lockdown headquarters. Fuck, and you guys are getting like the biggest figures ever, and you're about to be released out into the wild. We've got one publicised case, and we're going into a 3-day hard lockdown. At least I get to wear my pretty mask again. Oh, Dennis, I'm so sorry. I can't even imagine yeah, I can't even imagine what it's like for you guys. We've been so fortunate. Being a tiny little island, we've got a natural moat, and the UK has no fuel. But yeah, Tassie, we've sort of just been watching on in horror, and now it's happening here. And people are just, oh, there's a park right outside Guns and Smokes. Nice, nice. If that silver car wasn't there, I'd be able to go. Oh, damn it. A foot too short. That fucking silver car's fucked me up, man. Oh, now she's. Thanks, Felicia. Oh, what the fuck? Oh my God, I've just jumped out and now she's stopped. You fucking fucker. Hi, Joe Madre. I hope somebody lets her in. What have I done, guys? Look at this chaos. When I lived in Monticello, Dennis, that wasn't far from Des Moines. We went there a fair bit. And Cedar Springs. My host sister Charlotte was obsessed with me. She wouldn't let me out of her eyesight for a minute. I've got really fond memories of Iowa. I played hockey there too, lawn hockey, like grass hockey, not ice hockey. Blustery, wet traffic, yep. This lady in this silver car, though, if they don't let her in, I'm going to cry. Please let her in. I let you in, you man. Let her in. Let her in. I let you in. Let her in. Oh my God, he's inching up. He's got 30 loaves of bread and a huge bag of potatoes in the back. You bastard. Go. Jesus, lady. Right. Bit of road rage. I'm just going to park in this bit so I don't get stuck. Guys, you just do your thing. Are you lot behaving? I haven't said a word, but when I got out of the car, Blue's comment was the last one. Now let's see if someone's going to let me in, huh? I was hoping that white car would be gone, but negative. Is the cat driving? My friend Linda works in there in Smokes and Guns, and she's like, we have been absolutely flat out for the last 4 hours, and people are buying cartons. Don't talk about, I don't mind. Can you believe that old fart in the ute that I let into traffic wouldn't let that woman in the silver car over? Sky, this is fascinating because this town we're in now is called Sorel. And I don't know, maybe it's got a population of 10,000, but it's not a big town, but it is a big hub for surrounding smaller towns like the one where I live. So, like, there's dentists here and Telstra shops and banks and supermarkets and that sort of shit. But it's not a big place. And this traffic is just like, I've never seen anything like it. Thank you, mate. You're wicked. See, lovely man let me in. And look at this. Crawly, crawly. Most people are assholes, Raven. But people are panicking. But yeah, Linda was saying that people had gone in and bought like 2 and 3 cartons. It's like, dude, it's 3 days. I mean, it could get extended, but you can leave the house to get supplies. There's 4 rules, same as last year when we we were all self-isolating, but it really was lockdown. But it was we were the first. See, people have already got their masks on. It was the first state to do this sort of lockdowny thing, and but the rules were the same. Like, there's 4 reasons you can leave for medical, which includes COVID tests and vaccinations. You can leave for supermarket. You can leave if you're an essential worker, and you can leave for exercise, half an hour a day. R.I.P. Frederick Coach Clear Floss. You always. Hi, Ruth. Yeah, we're going into lockdown, baby. I cannot believe how physically I am so fucking exhausted. Conferences are the most exhausting things as an exhibitor, not as a delegate, because you just sit at a table and eat really good food. Hopefully, really good food. Some conference food can be shite. Yeah, that's not really how roundabouts work, a little red car lady, but whatever. But all the setting up, like, the table and then all the merchandise and all the shit. And then you've got to be all switched on and smiley and promoting the business you work for. I mean, we work for a community legal centre, and then you got to stand around and listen to shit. And in the middle of all of that, I had to go and get all my mobile office stuff so I could work from home on Monday. And our office is in the middle of the city, so that was fun because everyone in the city was panicking and trying to get the fuck out of there. And I'm just tootling through going, oh my God. And then go back, and then they pulled the pin after the Premier's press conference to announce, yep, lockdown from 6 p.m. Go home, people, go home. And I had to bump out the bloody conference on my own in this rain and take all the shit out to my car, which was 83 miles away. Like, it's just been one of those days. I don't even know what's happened in the real world. My entire day has been 30,000 plus steps on my Fitbit. Finally, a troll. I get trolls all the time, David Topping. We love trolls here, except for hate speech trolls. They can fuck right off. But if they're funny trolls, they're welcome. If they're lame trolls, they're welcome too. They're just lame. Set me up for a good one-liner, and I'll love you forever, even if you're a troll. So, yeah, Southern Tassie is heading into a 3-day hard lockdown. I suspect I'll probably go live a little bit because I won't be fucking going anywhere. But don't stress or fret. I've got ice cream. I've got the makings of coleslaw and a green salad with cherry tomatoes. Guess what I made yesterday? Like, I have made the coolest thing to have in the fridge for lockdown. I made southern fried chicken. Get the fuck out of here. I never make it, and I made it. I have, I think, 7 pieces of southern fried chicken. Oh, yeah, you've just read about the piece of shit who brought the Delta variant into Tassie. Yeah, he's a mega piece of shit. Hey, Cody. David Topping, I'm a Mel troll. Well, you're welcome here, Gruber. Mel's trolls are pretty much the same sort of trolls we get. I was like, some trolls that come in here do like in jokes that I don't get, like that RIP one that Clearfloss just did. Like, I don't know what that means. Hello, Blue Ridge. Yeah, we're going into lockdown for 3 days, Gruber. Hope everything's going great in your world and Archer's dating already, probably. But yeah, I suppose I should have told the story. So a guy, sometimes like the second time it's happened was, although the last time it was two planes, two airports. This time, a guy from Melbourne, or a guy who lives in Melbourne, managed to get on a plane in Melbourne without the paperwork, fly to Tassie, was picked up in Tassie for not having the adequate paperwork, and was taken to a quarantine hotel. Less than an hour after he arrived, he escaped and decided to go and visit friends. Since then, he hasn't cooperated with police. He has refused to wear a mask, even though he's positive, and he's going to be fined about $3,000. But I think that's pointless. I don't think this guy will have $3,000. Fines mean fuck all when the person doesn't have any way of paying them. How about off to jail you go for 30 days? Like it's kind of a biohazard, really, isn't it? If you if you know that you're positive and you're traveling, you're kind of deliberately exposing people to a really contagious virus. So, he's a complete dickhead, Joe Madre. And look how beautiful and green it is through here because of all the rain that we've just been having. Like I don't have a garden, but my block is this green, lush jungle at the moment. Normally, heading into summer, this is all yellow, but no, it's green. Green, green, green. I think rather irresponsibly, the media published a photo of this guy being taken into the COVID hospital. Like there's a COVID hotel, so the people that have tested positive, it's like a medical hotel, so they can be treated there. And you cannot escape from that place, but someone got a photo of them taking him into the hotel and they published it. I'm really sorry, guys, I haven't been able to read chat, but I appreciate you all being here. So, yeah, it's I don't know how I feel about that, the whole name and shame thing, and putting his photo. I mean, he would have to be the most hated man in Tasmania right about now. Yeah, this is the problem. So many jurisdictions have debated making it a criminal offence. I mean, there's plenty of cases, unfortunately, of people who were diagnosed with HIV who had undid sex willingly, and they've been jailed for that. So there are offences for knowingly potentially exposing a person to a disease that you've got, and there's a lot of jurisdictions discussing COVID at the moment because, yeah, these people that are just being so irresponsible. I mean, everyone that was on that plane had to self-isolate as well. And then it was the end of school holidays, so a lot of families were on the plane home and their kids went off to school this week. Like, the potential for it to go punter is quite high, which is why we've gone into this hard lockdown. And there were definitely murmurings that the number of people that have tested positive is quite significant for this island, especially in southern Tassie. And yeah, I mean, they haven't put any figures out. They've only talked about the guy that brought it into the state. But if the rumour mill at this conference I was at, if they're right, it's possible we've got a shitload of people who've been in the community that are positive. There's going to be major changes, definitely, Blue Ridge. It's such an interesting area of law to study at the moment, and I've been looking at it more from a employer life because it's relevant to the area of law that I work in. But I'm watching all the legislation and all the cases, and there was a massive settlement the other day. A guy that worked for a company that were American, they made him travel to New York last year at the height of when New York was absolutely getting bashed. He had to go there for work. Anyway, he got COVID and died, and the employer was held liable. The actual financial settlement for his death was under $1 million, but the settlement for his medical bills, because he was treated in the States, was 11 million. 11 million. And his family got about 900,000. But they'd be relieved, I guess, that they don't have to find 11 million to pay his medical bills. 11. Unbelievable. So Tassie's taking a very conservative approach. Hopefully it will work. But I'm nearly home and I can't wait to put my feet up. Pizza van's opening up, or maybe they're closing down. Poor buggers, they were probably setting up for the night. Maybe they are going to, I don't know. I don't think they can. See, look here, where I live. Is it crazy? Well, it's crazy for this time of day, but there's no queues blocking the road. Sorry, I can't read. Like, your partner was sent away for work, had to be tested before leaving. I'm really bad at reading lowercase because my phone's a really long way from my nose, and I've also got to wear my reading glasses because I'm blind at my face, or at least glare in my face. I will you for everyone that's commenting. I'm on a podcast channel. I might start talking about some of these COVID cases because they're really interesting. The big issue at the moment is who's liable when an employer vaccinated, even though we all sign a disclaimer to say that we are not going to sue if we end up dying or getting sick from having the vax, right? So we sign a disclaimer that says it's entirely our responsibility. But if an employer is mandating vaccine, have to be vaccinated or they're going to lose their jobs, does the liability move over to the employer? There's an Indian lawsuit against the World Health Organization. Interesting. Well, I'm down at my beautiful, calm, quiet little beachside town where you wouldn't even know. After all that crazy traffic, I just can't wait to make a cup of tea, put my feet up, and hang out with my cat. Yeah, I reckon it will, Sky. I think it's definitely going to be the case that the employer will be held liable. So a lot of employers are going to be thinking about whether or not they should mandate vaccinations in the workplace. It's an interesting time. It's an interesting world. But yeah, Melbourne's about to come out of lockdown and they're getting the highest number of cases, and we're about to go into a little 3-day lockdown. So I think I could be going live quite a bit over the next 2 days. Come and hang out with me, Groovers. Thanks for keeping me company, and I've recorded the traffic, the reality of an island going into lockdown, and the crazy panicking. I'm not crazy. I think for some people it's warranted, but holy shit, some of the driving was. Oh god, this is bad. I've finally got Oh man, I just leave the car out. My carport is finally free for me to use. I had a friend's car in it for 4 months, and it was collected yesterday. Oops. Um, Bit of a wheelie in my driveway, and I'm out of the habit of reversing into my carport. I keep forgetting it's now mine to use again. Yeah, well, with interesting, Sky, that's interesting too. I will have to log off. I need to get my ice cream into the freezer. Um, you're free in New South Wales if you're double vaxxed. Yep, you must feel incredible. When it's an essential service where you're likely to come in contact with people who are positive to COVID, one of the many strains, they're exempt because they already have to get like flu vaxes and everything. It's actually just part of the nature of their job. I'm talking more about employers that are mandating it when you're not really necessarily coming into contact with people that might be positive. Yeah, you would be isolated, Blue Ridge. Ice cream, Ruth, exactly, and it's starting to melt. David, that's terrible. The pan. How can your politicians declare that? That's not up to them. They're like, oh yeah, we're over this being a global pandemic. It's not a pandemic anymore. Are you kidding me? Um, yeah, so we might do a 24-hour live. We might do another cooking in captivity. Look at me, I'm home an hour and a half before southern Tasmania goes into full lockdown. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. And I've recorded for posterity crazy traffic in the middle of the day in Taswegia. Don't I love my new Keep Cup? This coffee that I made when I left the conference, and it feels like hours ago, is still hot. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. I've got so much shit to unload. I think I'll do the work stuff tomorrow. The conference stuff can just stay in the boot, but I've definitely got to get all my groceries and things in. And Sunny, I've got to break the news. She's got me at home for 3 days. She'll be over the moon. But stay safe, everyone. Much love to those of you still in lockdown. Those of you that are struggling where you live with what's happening, especially Dennis reporting from Iowa. Sounds so scary, mate. But hang in there, and you can always come and hang out here if you need to hang out with some beautiful people, because this community is a ripper. Oh, Sky, it was good to have you here. Thank you for coming in, and you've come from Crafton and Kim. Isn't it funny how, channels on the other side of the world can bring people in the same country together? So it's good to have you here. Be safe and stock up on TP. Actually, I have to check. I think I've got another Who Gives a Crap delivery on the 1st of November. Timing is everything. But thanks, guys. You're all beautiful. Thank you all for hanging out together too and looking out for each other and throwing a lot of love around. And much love to everyone. Stay safe out there. This is a little island in lockdown. Logging out. Log out, boo boo. I'll see you all soon.